and welcome back. Today, we're going to be putting in the weather stripping into this.
The vent frame assembly.
Vent frame assembly. And we're going to be using these plastic spudgers right here to get this into here, to the vent frame assembly. We're going to be saving this middle part, and put this middle part in glass. So we put in the lock that opens and closes the window. So.
And just so y'all can see kind of what this looks like. So there's a lip that goes all the way around, both sides, all the way around.
And there's a lip here. So we need to put this lip onto this lip. So without further ado, let's get started.
Feels like it's getting in there. Okay. So probably you want to go until this break right here, and then we want to try and push it in that corner because it's not going to slide very well until this piece gets in. But once it does and we've got that break, we should try and get into this corner. Okay. So you're doing good. Keep going. looks good.
Okay, so how do we start it?
So you're gonna have to do, so we can kind of see right here, there's a gap. This piece has to scoot all the way in there, and the only way you can do that is to press from this side with the screwdriver in here like this and press it in there, so it'll kind of move the whole thing this way. Before we get too much further in here, we do need to poke a hole through that. So I'm going to grab a nail.
Okay, we have our nail. Does it matter which side you should go through?
You want to make sure that you're poking in the right spot. Let's see if we can get it in the camera here. There's a little circle right here, and that's where we've got to puncture through, because that's where the pivot arm goes through.
Very slowly.
Slow might not work. Just kind of shove it through. There we go. Keep going. You're not going to pull it all the way through.
Okay, so I'm trying to think. Are you going to have to poke it in multiple spots?
I think so. But you can use now a screwdriver that you've made that hole. You can stick that to it and make the opening a little bit bigger. Now that that's done, I've got a gap here too. So why don't you work on getting this piece in now. That way we can try to shove both sides in. Okay? Let's start from this end and work your way in. Alright? Actually, we can't put that in yet. This has got to go through first. So take this, and you're gonna have to kind of guide it through that hole that you just created, and we got to go down into that channel there.
Okay.
Yep, we're gonna have to go with that piece first.
What color did you want for that one?
There you go.
Okay. Oh, now I gotta do it. How hard is that?
Yeah. So remember how we did it before?
No.
If you look, no. If you look in here, there's a longer piece right there, right?
Yeah.
That means that this has to go through at an angle
Yeah.
like that. Okay. remember which way does this thing go? Are you sure?
Yes.
Because this is the inside of the window right here. And so it goes like this when it opens. Okay? So this piece right here, you actually have to see that right there.
Yeah.
So we've got to bring it like this,
Push
go all
it
the way
up.
to
Push
up,
it.
and then that little pivot's got to, that little arm's got to come out this way. Yeah. Why?
Why is it so hard to do?
So what I'm gonna do,
You're gonna push it and I gotta turn
that's
it.
right, without killing each other. There you go. There it is.
Alright, it's in.
So now that piece is in. And now that that is in, it's going to make this a little bit more difficult to do, but you can't really do that without having it in. So now that that is in, you can try and push those. Yeah. Fun, right?
No!
No?
It's totally fun!
Thanks for hitting me in the head. That's about as good as we're gonna get on that.
So now that this is gonna work on this part?
Yep. So you can do all the rest of it now.
Yeah, I'm gonna save this part for last. It looks like that's the last thing.
So if you want to continue working your way up this way,
Think so. first step.
Sweet. Just give it a shove into the corner for good measure.
Why does it feel so loose? Yeah, because
You just have to tighten it.
alright, sweet.
So actually, this one's nice because I had to trim my piece on this side because it was too long. All right, cool.
Let's bend back the metal here,
Yeah.
and then we can put the glass in.
There's a screw actually that goes in here, so we'll put that in first.
Oh, the car looks so nice without all the dust on it.
Buddy.
We're getting a lot of dust storms lately.
Okay.
And it's kind of-
No. You gotta get it up on these parts, not on this one. There you go. Try to do it with the tip of it. Yeah, so we had to bend that bracket in order to get the pivot arm. You know, we're just bending it back in place. A squeeze or something?
Can't squeeze very well. It's small hands.
There's nothing to do with small hands.
And I have weak hands.
Let's see if that does it. I'm pretty sure that's where I put it on that side. Right in there.
I know how to do this one.
Okay. I should hope.
Should I tighten it all the way?
Mhm.
As tight as I can. This screwdriver has lots of grip on it.
Alright. So that is the finished installation of that weather stripping right there. Definitely not easy.
Never want to do that again.
A little bit of a pain, but it'll be worth it.
Never want to do that again.
Alright, so now you need to go get
Okay.
the little pivot itself and then pivot block.